So I'm sitting here waiting on the bus. We're in Serbia, and it's been a day. Our stuff. I don't want to show exactly where I am, but there's our stuff over there, our bags, and it's empty here. And Miana's laying over there on the bench, sleeping. So, let me see if I can turn around without showing you where we are. Yeah, I think so. So we were staying with this host family, and it was going fine. We stayed there for 5 days, and she was fine. It was a mom and 2 kids, and one of the kids graduated college, and one she's homeschooled. But I think she's like in high school or something. So they were older, and they're a family that wants to live off grid and stuff. And I'm basically doing this live too because I'm trying not to fall asleep because Miana's asleep, and we're in a bus station. It's pretty quiet here. It's a dog barking, and some people pass by every now and again, but I mean, it's pretty quiet here. Thank God there's internet here, so then I have something to keep me busy. And the bus is coming at 6 in the morning, so I'm just trying to stay awake until then. So anyway, we went there on Sunday night. We got there around like 8 or something like that, and it was cool. We had some they call it brandy, but it's like Rocky. It's like a strong drink. She was talking about them living off grid, so we didn't really get to see what the place looked like. So we were talking and talking. They gave us something to eat, asked us if we were hungry, everything like that. It was cool. And then it came time for us to go to sleep. It was about 2:00 in the morning, and it came time for us to go to sleep. And she was like, "Oh, we have like a big room with 2 beds in it." And I'm thinking the big room with the 2 beds in it would be for Miana and I. 1 bed for Miana, 1 bed for myself. But when we get in the room, and I did a live on my YouTube channel, but when we get in the room, it's literally 1 big bed and 1 single bed that's like stacked and stacked and stacked with foam. And the 1 big bed, she was sleeping in that bed. Her son was sleeping in that bed. Her daughter, and I told you she has grown children. One is like 16 and one is like 22. Her son, herself, and her daughter sleeping in that bed. And Miana was on this way. So like it was her daughter sleeping this way. She was sleeping that way. Her son was sleeping on the edge of the bed. Miana was sleeping this way, so perpendicular to them. And I'm sleeping over in the single bed because they had organized everything. And by the time I got in there, Miana was like, "Oh, Mom, sleep up there." So it's supposed to be like a helper's website. You're not supposed to be sleeping in the same room as like them. You're supposed to have a separate room, or sometimes you even get a separate location. And I'm just like, well, it's nothing we can do about it. It's 2 in the morning. Just let's go ahead and thing. So we wake up the next morning, and I'm like, okay. And then they had 4 dogs. They have 4 dogs. We're not there anymore, but they saw that they have 4 dogs, and the dogs were sleeping in the beds. And it's just like, I love dogs and everything, but you know, sometimes when we go and we help people and we stay with host families, it's like they want to like indoctrinate you into their way of life when it's supposed to be an equal exchange. They're supposed to be learning about you supposed to be learning about them. And instead, it's like they want you to do everything their way. And before we came, she asked us if we like dogs. We were like, yeah, we love dogs. We love animals. It's not a problem. She didn't say they would be sleeping in the bed. She didn't say they were not trained. She didn't say that they would poop in the house. I stepped in poop like 2 days after that, 2 mornings after that. And so we get up and they don't really eat breakfast. They eat like cakes or cookies, and they'll have a tea or a coffee or something, which, okay, that's fine. But when it comes to dinner, I said to them, it's really nice here. And I told her before we came, I was like, I really like to cook, so I'll cook for everyone. And she was like, okay. So I cooked some lentils. I paid for the lentils. I brought the lentils with me, and that's going to be relevant when I tell you what she said later. So I brought all the stuff. Hold on, let me make sure this is still recording. Okay. So I brought all this stuff, and I'll show you guys where I am. I'm in Serbia. You can see that's Niche Express here, Niche Express. That's where I am, and we're at I don't want to say exactly where we are, but Miana is over there. She's over there. Those are her shoes. She's sleeping because we have to wait in the bus station because the host family that we were staying with, and I'm going to keep saying this throughout the live for people joining. I'm doing a live now because I'm trying not to fall asleep. It's like almost 2 a.m. here, and our bus is not coming till 6, so I'm trying to make this video. We've been sitting out here since 9, so Miana's over there. I'm staying awake watching our stuff, and I'll sleep on the bus later. We have another place to go. Thank God we contacted another host, and they're gonna let us camp out there. So and thank God we have the tent. Anyway, so I'm so sleepy. Anyway, so we're like, well, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to rake? Do you want us to clean, whatever? Well, after I cooked the lentils for everyone, they're like, oh my God, this food is so good. How about for your contribution to the household, you cook, and then that'll be your work. And I'm like, okay, it's fine by me. So every day I'm thinking, what do I want? I'm asking them, what do you guys like to eat? Everything like this. Well, the daughter, she's saying to me she loves spices. Every day she puts spicy powder on her food. I watch her. She says she loves lemons and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting that in my mind to remember that, lemons and spicy stuff. And she was like, she loves stuff that's food in a circle. That loves stuff in a circle. I'm like thinking. So long story short, I wound up making her pizza and this spicy salsa. I did a live when I was making the spicy salsa. I did spicy salsa, and I made some ginger lemon tea. And she was like, oh, this is great. And the mom was like, I'm so glad you're here. I need to stand and watch you and learn how to cook. And she compliments me. I'm like, oh, no, please. You guys work outside. I work inside. It's, work, but, contributing, helping. So basically every day I'm cooking, and we're going for walks. Like another day we went for we walked like an hour and a half, 300 meters up from where we were, and when I say 300 meters higher, altitude wise, not just distance, altitude. We getting 300 meters higher because they live in the mountains. They had a house in the mountains and a house down, like not in the valley, but like in the village. So we did that and stuff like that. And mind you, the dogs are barking all the time. They're jumping putting their face on the table, jumping up while you're eating. You can barely eat and everything. And she's like, oh, the dogs are wild. And I just think to, discipline them, but I never do. And I'm like, okay, I'm laughing and giggling because the dogs are cute, but it's starting to wear me down because it's like the dogs have no training. So I'm cooking, and we all along while we're eating and stuff, we're talking about everything, anything that comes to our mind. And the mother is telling us that and I'm sorry if I look busted, guys. I'm very sleepy right now. Like I say, it's 2 a.m. here. So she goes, that they're Orthodox. And I'm like, well, can you explain what Orthodox means and stuff like that? Because I don't like religion, okay? But I understand, especially in this part of the world, most everybody is very religious. So I like to ask about the different religions so I can understand. I don't have to follow what you follow, but I like to understand things. So she's telling me, and all over their wall, they have icons. And I know what the icons are because there's this museum I love. It's a museum of icons. And I recognize what they are. And I've been to St. Sophia in Macedonia. So I recognize these are the icons. So she have icons all over the wall and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, And every day we talk, she's talking about how she's Orthodox and what they do and how the Orthodox religion is basically like the Hindu religion, and Hinduism, and I'm just like, okay, I don't really believe that, but I can understand that different religions have influence on each other. That I know and believe that, but I'm like, okay. And she's saying that basically, I don't want to get into what she said about the Orthodox religion, but she's saying a lot of stuff about it. And she said that the Orthodox religion is basically an upgrade from the other one. And I'm just like, whatever. So, because it's her religion, I don't know. But I mean, saying you're an upgrade, and then I'm not okay with that. But so she's saying all that and she's doing all that, and I told them, I said, well, I don't like religion, but I can think. And they were like, well, religion is different from faith, and I really respect that because religion is different from faith. So just keep that in mind. So like I say, I'm cooking. Well, I usually do qigong in the morning, as you see on my feed. I usually do qigong in the morning, so I'm outside, I'm doing my qigong. Well, yesterday morning when I was outside doing my qigong, the mother and the son walked by, and they're like, the son had like you see all the cars passing by. The son had like sorry. Wait, okay. The son had like an axe in his hand, and the mom had a walking stick. Because when you walking up the hill, I wish we had recorded this part, but when you walking up the hill, it's very steep. And I like tripped a couple times. I didn't fall, but I tripped. So they were like, we're going up to this, we call it the babushka, but it's like this 84-year-old woman. This 84-year-old woman, and she doesn't have family in the local area, so they were going up to chop fire with her. I'm like, okay. So they go up there. Well, I keep doing my qigong, and I'm dancing outside and stuff, and then when they come back, they're like, it was like 2 hours later, and they were like, okay, we're going to south. I was like, well, I'll come with you. And she was like, no, you can stay out here. I'll bring you a cup of tea. This was around 12:30. They went up around 9. They came back down around 12-ish, 12:30. Closer to 12. So I was like, no, I'll come in because the sun had started shining. I didn't want to get a heat headache. So we go inside and stuff. And they decide that they're going to grab a tea or something. And then they're going to go outside to start cutting the grass. And they try to do everything without electricity, or they do as much as they can without electricity, which I can respect it. But everything is a journey, and I'm used to working with and without. I have my mortar and pestle. I have some things I do without electricity and some things I do with. It depends. So they go outside, and he's using the scythe that the Grim Reaper used. He's using that to cut the grass, and then he has a long one, and then the mom has a shorter one, and the daughter is out there. So every time we ask them, do they want us to help them outside, they say no, do something else like cook or help us plant beans. And then we say, well, when are we going to plant the beans? Mind you, this happened over the course of 5 days, so very quick. we like, so when are we going to plant the beans? And then she told me, well, first we got to soak the beans. And then so every time we ask them, what do you want us to do to help? They give us another thing. So then I just stay in the kitchen and cook. Well, when I saw them outside cutting the grass by hand, I go out to the balcony and I said, hey, you guys want something to eat? Because I'm like, you just came from helping the babushka, come back, and now you're doing all this hard work out, this heavy manual labor. Let me get you something to eat. So the daughter was like, no, I'm not hungry. I asked her mom. She said, no, she's not hungry. And when they came down, the son told me that he ate at the babushka's house. So I was like, oh, okay. They had a snack there. I was like, okay. So that was that. So I decided that I wanted to eat because I do intermittent fasting. And it was getting later. It was getting like close to 1 now. And I was hungry. So I had gone like 16, 17 hours without eating, so I wanted to eat. So I go downstairs. They have this old-fashioned stove, which if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see it. They have this old, and it says cooking for a Serbian host family. In there, you'll see what stove I'm talking about. And they, cars. And so they were like, the son was, I yelled over the balcony, hey, can you help me light the stove? Because you need to put firewood and stuff in here. So he was like, okay, I'm coming. And so he came up, he lit the stove, and then like 30 minutes later, it went out. So I went back downstairs. I didn't want to bother him, but I went back downstairs and said, not downstairs, I went to the balcony, and they're like right under the balcony. I said, hey, can you help me? Because it went out. And when he came upstairs, I said, look, I don't want to keep disturbing you from your work, but can you show me how to set the fire? And he was like, oh, I'll just put it here. And he didn't really say anything. And I'm like, I was, because with us, even on my profile, because I have feedback and references on my profile, it says, oh, Tammy is going to make you laugh, and she's really funny. So I said to him, if this fire go out again, I'm going to come back and get you. When he laughed, I laughed, Miana laughed, we were laughing. That's relevant for later. So then he goes back out, and he didn't really say anything when I said, help me start the fire, and well, if it goes out, I'm going to come back and get you. He just laughed, and then that was it. They didn't really say much. So about, and they didn't come in to get anything to eat. So about an hour later, they come in, and the mom is fuming. You know how when you can feel the anger on somebody, she's like, you can feel it. I'm standing in the kitchen, and she's like standing in the doorway from where the living room kitchen area to the foyer. She's standing in that doorway, and she comes in, and she's like, and mind you, while they were outside, they keep the 4 dogs in, and they're barking. That's on my channel also. They're barking so loud. Even the daughter said to me, I don't know how you put up with this. And I was like, well, I have to, because they live in the kitchen basically. So I have to put up with it. And that's how she trains. And she didn't train them. That's how she lets them do it. So, sorry, I'm just so sleepy. I have to stay awake. So she's in a doorway, and her whole energy, her spirit, everything is just fuming. And she's like, we're different. She comes in and she just said, we're different, and you don't understand. And we're like, what's going on? Mind you, I'm playing music, and I don't understand what she's talking about. So she's like, when we do hard work, we're not thinking about food. Now, mind you, as part of this program, it says that you're supposed to feed the people that come to help, okay? And beyond that, when you work hard, you need to eat hard, because your body is burning off those calories, is using like a car. You put gas in your car, you need to put gas, fuel in your body. That's food. And she's like, when we work hard, we don't think about eating. And you're different. You always thinking about eating. And it's like, but I'm cooking for everyone. Of course, I'm always thinking about food. I'm not thinking about eating, but I'm always thinking about food, because I have to cook for, it's 5. It's 3 of them and 2 of us. So I'm always thinking about food, because I have to always make sure people are eating. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And then Miana was like, where is this coming from? Because I told you just about an hour prior to that, when they came down, just an hour prior to that, when they came downstairs, she was saying, when they came from the babusha's house, she was saying, oh, I can bring you some tea. Her attitude was fine.